I ain't hungry. First, I always say hungry dogs run fast. I ain't hungry. I'm starving.
Hurd takes the snap. He's back. He's going to run. He's in. Touchdown! Jalen Hurd.
When that cage opens up again, our teeth are snarling. We're drooling. We're ready. We're hungry, ready to hunt again.
Dallas, we hate you. Braves need to snow. The Eagles train to go. The Eagles win.
And again, and again, and again.
It ain't about them, it's about us. We play up to our potential. Each and every one of us together. Nobody can beat us, I promise you. Promise you.
What's up, my Brus, my bird Brus? We are back. It's another Speaking Birds. It's your boy Speaks. I'm joined here today with John and Clayton. What's up, fellas?
Going on Super Bowl edition.
Up. It's great to be here.
Man, I love it. We're man, we are headed we're headed to the game. We're there.
Coming straight from Bourbon Street live.
Coming straight from the Hard Rock Cafe in Middletown. Is there a Hard Rock there? Is that
no. Thank God there isn't.
I overstepped on the Hard Rock Middletown phrase. Before we get started, I just want a quick shout out. Eric Allen, Eagles legend, is headed to the Hall of Fame. Was announced earlier this week, or I guess later this week. Yeah, that he's going to the Hall of Fame, and then there was some awards to be passed out. And Saquon Barkley, our man, wins the Offensive Player of the Year. I think he should have got MVP, but that's whatever. But shout out to those two guys. Just cementing their place in Eagles history. I don't think we've had an Offensive Player of the Year, so. Man, Barkley gets it done, and obviously Hall of Fame is the highest of honors in the NFL world. So shout out to Eric
Absolutely.
Allen.
Congratulations. I know it would have been a few years, and I don't know, Clayton might know. Is there a time frame where if you don't get in, then you don't get in? Or
Yeah. Well, you won't.
Yeah, I know it was getting
20,
soon.
Yeah, it's 20 years, and if you don't get in, you go to something called the seniors, and it's like, good luck. You're not getting in there. They only pick one of them a year, and there's so many people that have moved to that. It's like, good luck. Like, it's like hitting the lottery. You're not getting in once you get moved there. So I think this was his 18th year. You get one more year of eligibility if you didn't get in this time. And honestly, it completely overdue. I don't understand what took so long. This guy deserved to be in there. It's good they got it right before it was too late.
Yeah, that's man. So yeah, you got 20 years. I mean, that they kind of play with you, that committee on how they vote, because it's like the first ballot's a huge thing. I know. Didn't Eli lose out on the first ballot this year?
Yep.
Yeah, so like they mess with you a little bit, and they want you to wait if you're not deserving. I mean, Eric Allen deserved it. So yeah, way overdue. Man, congrats.
Before you go on, I just want to say congrats to Saquon too. I hate to say this, I'm kind of glad that he didn't get the MVP because I think that fuels him for this game. And a lot of the other Eagles, Zach Bond snubbed, Quinyon Mitchell snubbed, I think. So hopefully that gives them a little bit of fuel for this game. That's all I just wanted to say.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
I'd be pissed off.
Yeah, put that on the bulletin board. I mean, like some of these awards. I mean, we like Clayton has touched on this in our group chat a little bit, but like they're such a sham. Like, first of all, okay, yeah, Vic Fangio doesn't win Assistant Coach of the Year. That's an absolute disgrace. Howie Roseman should have won. I know this is an honor. I think they announced, but this was earlier. Executive of the Year. How did he not win Executive of the Year? Look at all the moves that he's made in the offseason to take this team to a Super Bowl. Like, insane. Zach Bond, Defensive Player of the Year. Q should have won Defensive Rookie of the Year. I mean, look, the guy's still out here making plays. He's in the Super Bowl. But I digress. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, total snub. But I hope just that gives us that pissed off feeling. Come out here and fucking shit on these Chiefs.
Yeah, man. Before we get in, let's
go ahead.
Let's take the temp a little bit. Let's take the temp. How you guys feeling? How's your Super Bowl 2 weeks been? I know it's a crazy time. How's it been? How you feeling? What's going on? Talk to me. Give me it.
Me personally, I'm feeling pretty good. However, I'm staying away from any negative media. So I'm just down the YouTube rabbit hole watching Eagles pump up stuff. I'm trying to stay away from anything negative. I know there's a lot of like stats out there. I don't know that I even want to say this. Like, Andy's never lost to the Eagles, etc. Things like that. So I'm just staying away from that stuff. And
Vic Fangio's never beaten Patrick
Yeah,
Mahomes.
exactly.
I
So-
don't mind, dude. I don't mind that stat. I kind of like that. Like, let's spoil that. Let's spoil
Yeah,
that. Like that
well,
kind of stat is like,
I also hate the ones that like lean against the Eagles too. You know what I mean? So like, I'm just trying to stay away from that and going down my own rabbit hole, pump up stuff and a little bit of podcast stuff with Chris Long and them. So that's where
You're a
I'm at.
Chris
But I'm
Long
feeling
guy.
good. Oh, of course.
yeah.
Clayton?
Man, yeah.
Dude, this has been the longest 2 weeks of my freaking life. I'll tell you that. This wait up to this game, man, it's like a whole season of just waiting right here. But yeah, I'm with you guys, man. I feel great. Like I feel confident, as confident as I was, on the after pod there. My feelings on this game has not wavered. I still believe in this team. And I'm ready for I think it's going to be a great game, to be honest with you. So I'm just ready, pumped, ready. Cannot fucking wait for Sunday to get here.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, it's gonna be a great game, and that's it's gonna be a ride. But man, I haven't had any. This like last week. I think I talked to you. Man, I've been having these dreams, these stress dreams. I'd like to tell you about them. The first dream I had, we had gone up 21-0. Now in the dream, we weren't playing the Chiefs. I think we were playing like the Texans. But like we had gone up 21-0. Dream ended. Boom. There was a second dream I had, like the next night. Jalen scrambling. He fumbles the ball. This was the weirdest thing. He fumbles the ball at the goal line. It bounces like super high, and Darius Slay recovers it for a touchdown. It makes no sense, but that's how dreams go. So Slay recovers it, goes in. Man, I had another dream. There was this other dream. Just flags were getting thrown. Flags were getting thrown for the Chiefs. It was ridiculous. It was like this was definitely a stress dream about them getting the flags. I remember it was like that scene in like Remember the Titans where the daughter's like yelling at the refs. It was like that. I was like yelling, and then that was it. And then the last one, I was running into a grocery store. It was like the fourth quarter. I don't know why I was listening to it on the radio. They were winning. They were about to win, and I ran into I think get some champagne or something. And so all of these dreams, we were never really losing. We never lost in any of these dreams. And then there was a point in one of those where we were at the podium. So I don't know. We've never lost in these dreams. It was never like a doom situation. So take that as you will. But man, it's been stressful. Yeah, can we just play the game already? It's been so long. It feels like it's been ages. But dude, those are my dreams. Anybody have dreams? Anybody have stress dreams?
I mean, I usually have a lot of dreams. Most of my dreams are like, for instance, none of them football related in the past week or two, but I'll have dreams where like, for some reason I'm getting off the bus, but I can't walk or something like that. And I'm like, if I could just get to the door, I could go home, but like my legs don't work. So
Man, those are the worst. Those are the worst.
Dude, it's awful. It's awful.
Your teeth are getting pulled out.
Yeah, I have the weird teeth ones a lot too. Like, oh my God, I wake up, like my whole bottom of my mouth, all my teeth are gone. I wake up and they're all there. I'm like, thank God, dude. Thank God.
Thank God. I don't have to deal with that. Oh my God.
But I've been
That's
stressed.
great.
I haven't been sleeping well, man. It's been awful.
Yeah, I'm ready. It's time. Last night, I think I told you guys off mic, man, I couldn't even sleep. I'm watching hype videos. I couldn't sleep till 5 a.m. Eventually I was able to go to bed, but it started last night. It was like, okay, this is real. Like there's this, and then there's whatever this is, and then one more sleep, and then it's time to go. John, I know you mentioned this a lot. I wanted to ask Gilly to Kid.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about Gilly to Kid?
I loved him. It was great, but it's getting a little repetitive now. It's a little annoying. So, but good for him. He's in the locker room. He's running out with the Eagles, dude. That's a lifetime achievement, in my opinion. So good for him. It's just, he gets those boys hype. So I love that, too. But for me, it's just getting a little repetitive. But I do like him. So.
Yeah, he's riding a little bit too high. It's like, all right, Gilly, I don't know if it's the algorithm or what it is, but I'm seeing you a little bit too much. I need you to just fall back. Which it was interesting. I was thinking about like unofficial team ambassadors like that. Like, isn't it weird how like Gilly will come and go, and like Meek Mill like came and went, and then last Super Bowl it was Little Yachty with that song, and when they ran out to, it's like
Horrible.
man, it's kind of crazy how these like guys just like come in. It's like a flash in the pan. They're like the person, and then I mean that goes across all teams, but it's just an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah, there's a few that always stay too. You know, you got Brad Cooper is always there, and you got Mike Trout obviously at every game. So I guess it just depends. I don't know. I think Gilly will probably stick around for a little bit longer,
but he won't be like the spotlight. Like it's not going to be like it's
Yeah.
not going to be like he's not going to have like passes to be in the locker room like next season. You know what I mean? Like it's your privileges kind of not get revoked, but it's like, all right, you had your time.
Yeah.
Which speaking of Mike Trout, I kind of was thinking about that. I kind of respect him for not like he could very well be like that guy. Like he could be like, I need to be in the locker room and I need him. But he doesn't do that. He just watches the game, chills out. Kind of respect
Absolutely.
that.
Doesn't need a box. He just sits down on the field, you know.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys this as well. So we talked about the Little Yachty song that they ran out to in 2022, and then obviously we have the Meek Mill song in 2017. Do we have an anthem this year? Is there a song that you can point to that we're running out to? And please don't tell me Blow the Whistle.
Can't really say, is it Blow the Whistle?
I will.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
No, I will drive my car. I will drive my Rivian right off of this cliff if we run out to Blow the Whistle.
I'll take Blow the Whistle a million times over Dreams of Nightmare. I couldn't stand
I'm with
that
you.
song. Can't stand it. Don't ever want to listen to it again.
Right there with you. I'm right there with you, brother.
Hated it when they were doing it. Couldn't stand it.
Me too. Like I just accepted it because everybody was like hype on it. I was like, I don't see the allure to this, but whatever. If it's hyping everybody, fine. But yeah, I'll take this over fucking that.
And I like Too Short. A lot of his stuff has always been good. But here's a question: what do you think? Let's say this thing gets done. What's the next year's song? If you could put any song out there on the fly here.
Dancing on My Own. No, I'm kidding.
Oh God.
No, I might. Dude, honestly, I probably will listen to that a ton now that I said it tomorrow, just to like get in the. The next song, John.
Yeah. Or the song for this Super Bowl, but what do you think it should be if it was you?
Well, so I'm looking at like Philly rappers. Meek Mill is absolutely washed, cooked. Doesn't even have to be a rap song, I guess. Like you can't come out to like a Mountain Joy song, like some like soft rock indie.
Who was the rapper that D was dating in Always Sunny? Get him out of here.
Oh Jesus. The white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh,
that's
man.
good.
Some Beanie Siegel. I mean, honestly,
Freeway would be a good one for sure.
Yeah,
Freeway Beanie Siegel, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind like maybe like finding like and I mean this is like a deep cut, but like maybe finding like a deep cut like roots jam. Like something that slaps, you know what I mean?
I got two, and the first one nobody else is probably gonna like, but this is the one that gets me hype and I listen to before every single Eagles game. It's Philadelphia Freedom by Elton John,
yeah.
and it's one of my absolute favorites. However, I don't think the players would, get up to that. I think the second one, now, this is a song Mike Tyson came out to, but it's DMX, It's Dark and Hell is Hot, and it's the first song on that album that has the bells, and the intro is a little long, and then it just cuts in, and the bass is a little crazy. I think that would be a good one.
Okay. They kind of like leaned into that. They almost leaned into the DMX thing this year.
What's My Name? They've been playing a lot. That's what they came out to when I was there for the Rams game. So,
and I'm okay with running out of the tunnel to that.
DMX, any cut that he has, I'm fine with for sure.
Shed blood for my.
Yeah. Gotta hit the edit button. Okay. Man, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I hope I Blow the Whistle to me. I feel like that's like a post game victory song. And is it that hype? But I don't know what else they have. Like I know they've been bumping some Michael Jackson post game, but he can't really come out to Michael Jackson. I would love like some Philadelphia Freedom. Just do.
I got blood on my hands and there's no remorse.
Man, well, like, okay, let's go back on the record. I got to fight my co-host here. Okay, I'm not the biggest fan of Meek Mill, but I did play the heck out of that song. It was like an anthem, and I do think with the players that it did, like, that song propelled us. It was like the 12th man. It propelled us to a Super Bowl win. Like, coming out to that song, you just kind of knew it was raps. You know, NFC Championship game. They're dancing around. You knew it was raps. It's been said by, like, I think Clement said, like, when they're dancing in the end zone pregame like that, that's when you knew, like, they weren't losing that game. So
For sure. And then the Patriots came out to something just awful.
it was like,
I forget what it was.
AC/DC. It was like AC/DC, like thunder. It's like, you know, but I'm with you guys. It's completely played out, and I don't want to see or hear Meek Mill, but there is a place, if I may, there is a place for some lore with that song in that year. But I agree. That was the most cringe thing when they tried to bring it back for last Super Bowl. It was like, come on, guys. Like, this isn't even your team. It was a year, it was a flash in the pan. Oh. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I digress.
I digress. But no, but it's like, but that's it's kind of crazy to think about. Like, Meek Mill, like, he just kind of seemingly disappeared, and I don't know if it's the team distancing themselves from him because of his Diddy
I
stuff.
fucking hope so.
yeah, but, like, you know what I mean? It's like, you're nowhere. You're supposed to be this, like, ambassador, like, you're all about it, and then none. But we spent way too much time talking about Meek Mill, guys. We're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, we're getting into the matchup of the year. When we get back. We are back during the break. Man, how did we miss this, Clayton? Tell me about this.
all right. So here's what I'm thinking. Stadium goes dark. You know, everybody's like, "Oh shit, what happened?" Spotlight hits the tunnel. Nick steps out. Many men playing.
Yes.
It's over. It's a wrap right there.
Yep.
Just call it. Head shaved again. Cleanly shaven.
This time nared.
Nared.
Britney Spears is shaving his head.
Nared it.
Could you imagine how just obscene that would be? Like, the intro of that song is literally 9 bullets firing off at the Super Bowl. It's like boom, boom. and then it's like the N-word like 3 times. It's like no, not edited at all. Just
and it's still dark while the gunshots are going off, and people are like, "Is this real or is this over the speakers? What's happening?"
Yeah, pandemonium, and play it like
And then
so
it's
loud
Nick.
over everything.
And it's Nick in the spotlight, dude, cleanly shaven, nared head.
God, those are the type of moves that win Super Bowls.
Exactly.
Like,
Doesn't come down to the X's and O's. It's the entrance. You win or lose in the entrance.
Oh my God. How am I saying there's no anthem? How could I even sit here and say that there's no anthem? It's clearly Many Men. That was such a pivotal point in the season. Like, 2-2, he's about to get fired. I mean, we've talked about this, but man, the guy has a mental breakdown. You could tell. I mean, you could tell. You could look at him. You know, if you're able to identify the obvious things, he was clearly going through it. Shaves his head, boom, rattles off about 11 wins. I mean, like, that's the type of things I want to see, like, an NFL films on in like 5 years. I don't know.
Down.
Yeah, I just want to look at his blood pressure pre mental breakdown and post mental breakdown. Let's get those stats out there.
Dude, you ever see get his doctor reports, his
His medical records.
his my chart.
Signed a HIPAA release.
Yeah, yeah, reveal those. You ever see those like photos of like the president? You'll be like, man, like how it ages. It's like the when he came into office, and then like 4 years later, he looks
Mm.
completely like a homeless man. That's like Sirianni, man. I looked at his like intro press conference the other day, and he looks just like this
Mm.
young, handsome, sprouting young man. And then like you look at him today, and look, he's still a good looking guy, but you could tell he's all like, man,
Eyes
Philly is,
sunken in,
yeah, yeah.
darkness around his eyes like an alcoholic.
Yeah,
Like this
every
guy's been
gray hair.
just chewed up and spit out.
Hey, that's the price. And Nick, you gotta bring a trophy home. You gotta do it, man. Let's get into it. Let's talk ball. We're facing the Kansas City Chiefs for the second time in 3 years in the Super Bowl, and it's gonna be a game. It's the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. How do you guys feel about the upcoming matchup? Um, I guess let's get into it. Things to watch. Who's going to have a big game? What are we looking at? Clay, maybe you have some X's and O's. How are they going to handle Jalen Carter? Like, let's get into that. I think he's going to be a game wrecker. Clay, maybe you can speak to like what's going on their offensive line, or how are they going to handle that?
Yeah, go ahead, Clayton. I'll let you go first then.
Well, I mean, let's just start off. I mean, I think this Chiefs team's better than the Chiefs team that we faced in 2022. I also think this is a better Eagles team too. So I think it's two better teams. As far as like the key matchups here, what I'm looking at for sure that Chiefs offensive line versus this Eagles defensive line. I think they have a really good center. Tony or I don't know. Can't remember.
Thought it was Humphrey.
Yeah.
Creed Humphrey.
Yeah, it's
Humphrey,
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah, I can't. I'm terrible with names. He's elite. Like he's one of the best in the league. The rest of them, I mean, they have a decent guard. I think Carter will probably see a lot of double teams, even with them having a really good center. So I think it's going to open it up for Milton or Jamo or whoever's that opposite tackle. I think Sweat's probably going to have a rough time out there, but Nolan Smith should definitely eat. He has a very good matchup. So I think overall our offense or our defensive line should handle their offensive line. And I think our offensive line should handle their defensive line. I mean, Chris Jones is a monster. Karlaftis is very good. He's one of those players that just comes on in the playoffs. So I mean, he had a decent regular season, but he's been a monster in the playoffs here. So, but I mean, he's going up against Lane Johnson. I trust Lane on an island. I trust Mailata on an island. So. It's going to be on offense, where's Chris Jones? Because they line him up everywhere. They line like he lines up on the edge. He'll line up in the center. It doesn't matter. So that's like the one thing that I would be, dialing in. Jalen, you need to identify where he is. The offensive line needs to identify where he is and shift, protection. As far as their cornerbacks, McDuffie's really good, but outside of that, I don't know, man. I think our core should eat, and I know their slot corner is not good at all. So look for Devontae Smith to probably have a really big game because we throw him in the slot quite a bit. I know people think it's Dotson, but actually Smith plays in the slot way more than Dotson does. So I think that's a good matchup. I think Goddard's going to have a good game too. And this whole lore that everybody is saying that Saquon's not going to do what Saquon does. I don't see it, man. Yes, this Chiefs team is a very good tackling defense. That's one thing that I will give them props. They're in the playoffs here. They're the best tackling team. But it's Saquon, and it's this offensive line, man. And I'm sorry, if Saquon doesn't get 100, I will be shocked because I don't see them being able to stop it. They're not a bad defense, but they're not a great defense either. Spags, he's gonna have some timely blitzes. Jalen's gonna have to worry about that. But overall, man, I really think that on both sides of the ball, we have the advantage, and we should win this game. I'm not going to predict a blowout or anything, but I could see a blowout happening. I could see, and if a blowout does happen, I could see the Eagles being the one doing it. I don't see the Eagles getting blown out in this game. I think it's either a close game either way, or if there is a blowout, it's the Eagles doing the blowing out. So But no, I think it's some good matchups, some really good matchups for some of our key guys like Nolan Smith. And I think Carter's still going to get his, but I think Milton Williams is really going to be a guy to watch on that defensive front. And if you're betting on this, I think the odds of him getting one are, I think there was an over/under bet I seen for one sack. It was crazy. I was like, wow, man, I would bet the over on that. I think Milton Williams is going to have a day.
Which brings us to our next sponsor, DraftKings Sportsbook.
Yeah, FanDuel.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Guys, prize picks. Man, speaking of Jalen Carter, I sent this to the group, and I love Jalen Carter. I love his intensity. I love his fire. But kind of where he smacks the guy in the Washington game. Trust me, I love him knocking that guy's block off. Like, I love it, but it needs to be preached into the ground. Like, there is zero room. There is negative room for that against this Chiefs team. Say what you want, referees, blah blah blah. They are trying to award this team victories. That is fact. It is factual. This is not conspiracy. It's not hyperbole. They are trying to give this team victories, and there is no room for any sort of personal foul like that. I hope, and I know the coaches are already doing it, but that needs to be preached. Like, there's zero room for that. You need to contain that. You need to contain that energy. You need to expel that energy within the whistle and legally, because they will flag that. I just wanted to say that, but I think Carter's gonna have a huge game. But I just wanted to, preach. I just wanted to say it out loud, put it in the universe, man. Please do not give them a reason. That's the whole thing. Do not give them a reason.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and that's what this is going to come down to. Honestly, I think because I think it's going to be a close game, and I think it's going to come down to what team makes less mistake, less unforced errors. And doing stupid shit like that catching a personal foul in a big time spot, dude, you're absolutely right. That has to be not just the Jalen Carter, to everybody, dude.
Yes.
You have to be on your P and Qs to win this game, to beat this team. You have to be disciplined. You have to be smart, and you have to take care of the football. If you give these guys just a fucking inch, that's all they need. They've been playing tight games.
They're like little cockroaches, man. They
Dude,
don't go away.
They play these tight games all season long, and then in the end, they find a way to pull it out. And it's like, that's not the type of game you want to get in with them, because if it's a dogfight, I mean, we do the same thing. I mean, not so much this year. Last year we were playing super tight games, different team though, but it's not, in my opinion, that's not the game that you want to play. You don't want to be in a dogfight with them. You want to get out, kind of front run, and just let your defense, handle business.
Yeah, 100%. And I think if you're looking at, like, Sirianni has alluded to the fact that, he's got notes and he's like gone back and like he's learned stuff. I think if he's gonna take anything from last game and apply it to this game, it is like they're gonna go down shooting. And I guess what I mean by that is, like, I would say look for this team to be aggressive, not maybe so aggressive as 2017, but look for them to fourth down. They're keeping them on the, like, they're not going to play passive and let Mahomes storm down the field and get that field goal like it happened last time. I think you can look for this team to die on their own will. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I definitely think you got to be, at least a little bit aggressive. You can't. First of all, I mean, I think Mahomes is 7 for 7 in 1-score games here. So if there's a chance to put a 2-score game in there, you definitely got to be aggressive on fourth down. Obviously, depending the situation, you got to be able to get up more than one score, I think, is the biggest difference.
Yeah, I agree. And I think a big thing too, Spags. Spags is a great defensive coordinator. I think he's going to try and confuse Hurts. He's going to bring the simulated pressure. He's going to dial things up. We'll see. We'll see. I think Hurts is ready for the task. I think, man, he's so hungry. He's ready to go. But that's going to be something to watch as well. Something I'm watching is going to be that. I mean, that's a good defense. That's a good play caller. So, man, yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be nuts. Yeah. But we are the better team.
Absolutely. I think we're the better team in every aspect of the game. except for maybe quarterback, you could argue. Obviously, Pat's a proven winner, but maybe Kelsey out there. I think Goddard, possibly a little bit better because Kelsey's an old vet, slower, but obviously he has that veteran mindset. So that'll be the difference there. But, in every other aspect, I think we are the better team.
Yeah. How can you be a proven winner and a proven loser at the same time? I mean, this guy is such a. Okay, we don't have to go into. Okay, you brought up Travis Kelce. Let's talk about it. How do you anticipate us handling Travis Kelce? Are we gonna do some bracket coverage? Are we gonna be seeing some safety help? Do we want Oren Burks in coverage? I think Oren Burks is on his. He's looking for the get back. If you guys remember, he came in last year for the 49ers. This is correct, right? He came in last year for the 49ers when Greenlaw went down, and he kind of got cooked. So I think he's looking to get back. He's looking for that revenge.
Yeah, but also if you look at the scheme, Fangio is more of a zone guy, so he may get pushed off into he's not going to be particularly on unless maybe they run man with him, but he's not going to be particularly on one person for the most part. He'll get pushed into the next guy's zone, and he may even sit down in between them. So I don't know if they want Cooper DeJean on him. I think he probably I don't know. Oren Burks I think he's very good, but I think Kelsey's probably a little bit better there, more crafty, but
yeah, just savvy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. That's definitely the only matchup that really concerns me, to be honest. You know what I mean? I think our run D is good. I think our outside corners are, obviously pretty much elite, and I think Cooper's good in the slot. So it just depends on Kelsey, I think.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I think it's going to be like a combination of players that are going to be on him. I think you're going to see a little Zach Bond. You'll see a little Burks. You'll see CJ probably coming down, out of the safety spot, dabbing him up a little bit. And I think you'll see Coop on him. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I know Ertz messed us up last game, but that's all they had. That's all Washington had. If you go back and look at the season, we handled tight ends the best, and it was not even close. We shut down opposing tight ends better than anybody else in the league all season long. So Vic knows how to do it. This defense knows how to do it. Kelsey's going to get his because he's one of the smartest players, and the rapport him and Mahomes have, they can play street ball out there together. It's basically what they're doing. And as soon as Travis finds that hole in the zone, and we're going to be zoning up quite a bit. He'll stop, and if Mahomes has time, he's going to hit him. It is what it is. But to your point, I mean, this isn't the same Travis Kelce physically that we've seen over the past. I mean, if you're comparing Goddard and him, Goddard's way more in his prime in physical. So it's not the same guy. It's going to be more of a catch it, and he probably won't get too much after. I bet the plan will be just to keep him in front, limit the damage.
I also think another thing to look out for is Mahomes been scrambling quite a bit in these playoffs, so something you got to keep an eye on.
He's sneaky good at it, man. And he's not super fast either. It's weird. He's just elusive.
It's just when everybody's covered up, then he takes off, which is the thing that you don't expect to happen. You know what I mean? So,
my stomach just turned a little bit.
Yeah,
thinking about everyone's blanketed up. It's been about 5 seconds, and he just gashes us. That's not going to happen. All right, might, but all right. Man, I think another thing too that I was thinking about is Fangio, man. I think when we talk about, I mentioned we're not going to go down without swinging. Man, I don't know. You got Fangio here. Okay, he's I don't know. He's an older guy. I don't know his age. I don't know his birthday. I don't know his age, but he's getting up there. I mean, how many years does this guy have professionally? I think, man, I'm looking. I am looking for him to call the game of his life, and I'm also dare I say, there's been some Jim Johnson style mentions. He's kind of the esque if you. I'm looking for maybe some exotic stuff. 1 or 2. I think we might see some things that might pay homage to the old boy.
I'd love to see that.
I think this is completely. I don't know where this is coming from, but I think I think he's coaching for that ring, man. Like I think like you don't get this close. He's old enough to realize that this opportunity is like it doesn't come every year, and I think he really wants it. And I think he's ready to go down, like deploying his men to cause pain if need be. I'll say.
Oh,
I mean,
for
I don't.
sure. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And not only that, like I expect Kellen Moore to bring the exotic stuff out too. I mean, obviously you saw it in the NFC Championship game, where he's running the jet blitz or the jet sweeps, with Smitty, and then there was another one. Was it Goddard that got one?
Yep,
I
yeah, it was
forget.
Goddard.
Yeah, it's like save some of your best stuff for these for the big game here. So
Sure. I guarantee that's what, and this is something that opposing quarterbacks say constantly about Vic Fangio. Every single game he brings something that you weren't expecting. Unscouted looks is what they usually call it, and I guarantee you he's got a bunch of unscouted looks in store here from Mahomes. And I know we didn't want to touch on this, but I did want to go back and kind of refute this because I've seen that going around that Vic Fangio is 0-6 or 0-8 or something like that against Mahomes. Go look at the quarterbacks that Vic Fangio had against Mahomes. Look at the teams Vic Fangio had against Mahomes. The best quarterback he had was Tua when Tua was, silly concussed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come on. That's the real deal. Like, I throw that shit out. Mahomes, he's not going to sit on the stand and say, yeah, Vic Fangio is trash. But he went above and beyond with his praise of Vic Fangio and how much he respects him and how hard his defenses are and some of the looks that he gives him. So I fully expect Vic to come out here with a fire scheme. I expect, Mahomes to not just, be Mahomes. I think Vic's got something for him. And I think this defensive line has something for him. So we'll see.
Ooh, man, oh God, I'm so pumped. It needs to happen. It needs to happen. Are we less than 24 hours? No, it's a little bit more than 24 hours.
Yep, a little
not
over.
only that, our boy Hurts got something for him too. You see him walking in.
Mhm.
I think he was walking into media and they had him fumbling the ball.
Yes,
man,
yes.
And you could just tell that motherfucker's locked in. And I got a little stat here I want to read about this.
Yeah.
Just how tough it is for a quarterback to get back to the Super Bowl after losing the first one. The last 19 quarterbacks before Jalen Hurts who lost their first Super Bowl have not made it back. Jalen Hurts is the first one since Jim Kelly, the last quarterback to lose their first Super Bowl. Then win one was John Elway.
Okay. I like that.
Just the touch on that Jim Kelly. How fucking terrible must it be to be a Bills fan, man? You were there
Just
4
awful.
years in a row, not just 3. Like, they have a chance to three-peat on us here. These motherfuckers were in it 4 years straight and they lost. It's like, oh man, that's gotta be.
They had great teams too, man. That's
100%.
what's crazy.
That's the craziest thing about it. Such good teams, and then they just get beat up by the NFC. It's like, wow, dude. Okay, that
That would have been a tough
sucks.
time. Yeah, that would have
The
been a
NFC
tough
East,
time.
to say the least, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Man,
Giants and the Skins beat them.
Yeah, they're yeah. What are you gonna do? They're just it's awful.
It's awful, man. That's rough.
I got a couple other things here.
Yeah.
Just real quick. Lane Johnson becomes the third tackle ever to go to 6 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pros, and play in 3 Super Bowls. And the other 2 were guys from like 40 years ago. I didn't even look up their names. And then
You said third ever.
third ever. Yep.
Nice. Love that for 'em.
Without Lane Johnson in the game, the Eagles are 15-23, and with Lane in the game, they're 102-55. So it's about a 650% with and 395% without. Last time someone won the Super Bowl and the rushing title at the same time was in 1998, and it was Terrell Davis.
Yep.
He's about to be overtaken in this game.
Yeah. With yards of all time through the playoffs. And that stat there. I think Saquon only needs about 30.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's something low. Something that he could probably get in the first quarter. Shit, he could get on one run, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
As
Yeah,
explosive as he is.
100%. Yeah.
It's also his birthday, so
Yeah, him
happy
and
early
Coop.
birthday, brother. Yeah, and Coop. We need you.
Man. Shoo, talk about that birthday celebration. If things go the way they should. Man, I wanted to talk about this a little bit. Like, I don't know, just kind of like looking. I did a lot of like reflecting while I couldn't sleep last night, and there was something about that. There was something about that loss, that 2022 loss. It just it. I don't know. Like immediately after, I was obviously heartbroken. I was upset. But there was this. There was this like kind of there was this idea that like I have to wait until we can make it right. And I don't know if that was just like some self-preservation in my mind, but like I just kept staring at that Jalen Hurts photo, and I just had this like idea of we're gonna get our get back. Like this is I don't know when it's gonna happen, but like I will feast on this. There will be a hole in my heart until we are able to get this done and avenge this. It was different than another loss, and we don't have many Super Bowl appearances or experiences to frame this off of, but it felt different. Like this team, I feel like this moment, it's curated. This is curated by the universe. Like that was no coincidence how that felt. It just I think that this is we're good. We're gonna get it. This we're meant for this. It was supposed to happen. This hole is gonna be filled. Like there was I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel. Like it just felt different. It felt like man, we're gonna live in this pain until we can absolve this. Do you guys feel that? Or did you feel that at all?
Yeah, man. Honestly, the way 2022 ended there, that playoff game, I felt, and this is nothing like people are gonna, oh God, there's another Eagles fan bitching about the refs. It's not it. I felt robbed. I felt like that game shouldn't have ended the way it ended. The Philadelphia Eagles should have gotten that ball back, and Hurts should have had a chance to answer, and
Mhm.
that got taken from us by the letter of the law. I'm not disputing it. The letter of the law, that was a penalty. Bradbury will tell you that. Any ref will tell you that. Anybody with eyes can see that. But it didn't affect the outcome of the play. And more egregious stuff happened earlier in the game that was not called. And you called it right there, and it decided the game. That's the last thing a ref should ever do. They should be preaching that into these refs, man. Like if it's a ticky-tack thing that's not affecting the outcome of the play, dude, let it go in these big spots. Let the players play. That's what it should be. And it felt like we got robbed of that, man. And then to have the next season and you're like, all right, man, these guys are locked in, but it just didn't feel right. Just didn't seem right the entire, and then a collapse occurred, and you're like, oh my God, are we going back into the cellar, man? Is this whole thing blown up before our eyes? And then you see him come out first 4 games of the season, and you're like, son of a bitch, man, this is not how this is supposed to look. And then they just turn it around, and we're here. And it's like what you said, man. We have the opportunity to right this wrong, man. I feel like the universe put this out there. It was supposed to be the Chiefs, and it was supposed to be the Eagles this year. This is our chance to avenge it. This is our chance to right that wrong. The way that Super Bowl ended, the way that 57 ended, man, we're here to right that wrong. We're here to put our stamp on history, dude. We're here to stop the Kansas City Chiefs three-peat. We're going to slay this dragon. This is why we're supposed to be here.
God, I got chills. I got chills. You don't in life, whether you whatever happens, there's and you guys know this, it's very rare that you get an opportunity to like right or wrong like this, right? Like that like when things happen, maybe it happens and it's over with, but for Hertz, for these guys that were there on 2022, like opportunities to do this doesn't they don't come up for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life, you can avenge this. You can wipe that feeling from 22 out. And life doesn't always give you those chances. It just doesn't. And man, I know those boys are ready for the opportunity. And speaking of what you said, like it was meant to be, my biggest regret of the season is that we didn't get a chance to go to Detroit and smack them in the mouth. Because I'm watching these highlights last night, and I got to tell you, there was no one beating this team. There was
They weren't even good enough to
nobody.
get to us.
Yeah, there was nobody beating this team. Not at all. No. Ooh, man, got me fired up, Clayton. How
I
do
do
you guys?
agree.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, John.
Well, I'm just going to touch on something Clayton already said. That hold, obviously, it's a clear cut hold, but not only did you rob Eagles fans, which is okay, you just robbed fans of football, other than like Chiefs
Exactly.
fans who are happy as hell about that. But like, you robbed anybody that's a fan of the NFL on that call by not by not just letting us have the chance to either, tie or go for a win, just to get the ball back, obviously. So,
I'm right there with you. I agree. It's not just Eagles Nation. It's anybody that's a fan of because that was a classic Super Bowl. Like that's an all-time classic Super Bowl right there. And it could have been even greater. And you took that from everyone. You took that from the fans. And again, I'm not disputing that it wasn't a foul. I'm just saying, man, come on. Worse shit happened in the game that was not called, and that had no effect on the outcome of that play. So
and
that's
Sweat's getting
all
held. I'm pretty sure I rewatched that just the other day because it was on at this one we were eating. Me and Laura were eating wings at a restaurant and having a beer, and that was on and that play happened, and I'm pretty sure Sweat's being held. So,
Yeah,
but I digress. Whatever.
And
Move on.
if any of our listeners are wondering, it was Gene Steratore was the head referee of that game, and his address is 532. No, but no, that was the referee. If anybody wants to, man, yeah, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. I wanted to ask you guys this: how do you feel about watching a game of this magnitude with an opposing fan? I don't know if you guys have this situation, being as though you're on the East Coast. Not a lot of Chiefs fans, but how would you feel about that? Watching with a buddy, with a friend that's an opposing fan.
I probably wouldn't do that. For me, just watching Eagles games in general is a strength by numbers thing. I want to watch it with all the Eagles fans that are like my personal friends. So the more we have, the more merrier it is. I think it's a strength by numbers in some weird, like superstitious way, but I wouldn't do it. I know you have though, Alex.
Not a game like this. And I bring this up. I got a good buddy. I don't know if he's an all-time. I don't know if he's a listener. I don't know if he's a brew. He's a bird brew, but he's a Chiefs fan. He's like, hey, what are you doing for the game? I got nothing going on. You want to watch it? And I just politely was like, probably not. Probably not the best idea. Because I love the guy, man. I would do anything with the guy. He's a good guy. He's a good hang. He's one of my good friends. But like, it's not the time or place. I don't want anybody in my vicinity. That's the end of the sentence. And then also, I don't want anyone in my vicinity rooting against my interests, my likes and interests. It seems insane. I don't know, like game time, like for the playoffs, like I like have headphones in. I was like, I'm like rocking back and forth. I'm by myself. Well, Gracie, she was watching the NFC Championship game on the couch, and I'm just pacing back and forth with headphones. And I was like, look, this is not a good time for you. Like, I mean, like, no, it's not a good time. Like, it's not going to be a good time for you watching the game. Like, I'm not a cool hang right now. This isn't like sit down, watch the football game. Like, this is a business thing. It's as close to a business thing as it can be. I'm headphones in. I'm like, talking to myself, talking at the TV. Like, there's really no room to hang in a game like this, and especially not with an opposing fan. So yeah, I had to politely decline the opportunity. So
I don't think I've ever watched an Eagles game with an opposing fan ever in my life.
oh, it's awful.
I don't think
It's
I have
awful.
either, to be honest.
Not even a regular season.
No.
Can't say that I have.
Yeah, and I can tell you that I'm right there with you. Who I am during an Eagles game is not who I am in real life.
I love that.
It's I mean,
I love that, dude. That's amazing.
I'm a different person. So, yeah, when that ball's kicked and the clock starts, I'm somebody else. And
I
then
love
when the final whistle blows and it falls to zeros on the board, I'm back to Clayton.
Yeah,
I may not be happy. I may be a sad or an angry or was extremely happy, drunken and jovial Clayton. But I'm back to Clayton. But who I am in those 4 hours in between is something else.
Yes, like a persona. It's a different persona.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be Rodrigo. That's my that's my new Eagles persona, Rodrigo. He likes Miller Lite and screaming at the TV. man, that's yeah, it's not the best experience. I just because yeah, when you care about the Eagles like we do, it's like anybody that's rooting against the interest is like immediate enemy. And it's like you
Yeah.
said, we're different people. It's like
Yeah. Like
enemy.
I could snap and put hands and feet on you out of
I
nowhere.
was
Then
just gonna say that,
afterwards.
dude. I was just gonna say that.
Be
One
extremely
more sip
sorry
of
right
beer.
afterwards.
One more sip of beer could be the end of your life.
Exactly.
One more.
It's 100%. Like,
Oh man, yeah. All right, like let's do this. I have a segment. I want to do for the fans, for myself too as well. This is a segment I thought about for myself, to help the fans. This is a segment that I want to call "Don't Panic." Okay, this is "Don't Panic." What this is, you look at these great athletes, right? You look at basketball, like Kobe's gonna get 40. That's it. You give Kobe his 40, it's gonna happen. All right, rest in peace. What's gonna happen in this game? Like, what are the Chiefs gonna do where we say don't panic? They're going to get theirs. They're going to eat. You got Patrick Mahomes. You got Kelsey. What's the don't panic? And I'll kick us off. Mahomes is going to scramble. He's going to get away from pressure. He's going to hit a downfield pass. Don't panic. Don't panic. That's going to happen, right? Within a game, these dogs, they're going to get theirs. Don't panic. Guys, do you have a don't panic for the fans out there? You're going to see it. It's going to happen. They're going to eat. Don't panic. What's your don't panic?
Go ahead,
I got
Clayton.
one. I was gonna say I got one. Mahomes in this offense is going to do what they've done all season long. This is not the high-flying, explosive offense that you've seen, in years past. Even though Xavier Worthy, is the fastest man, quote unquote, at the combine, broke the 40-yard dash record. They usually, they take shots down the field. It's usually like one. I think it averaged out to like one big shot, per game. Maybe they'll do, more than that, but it's not going to be like your normal, high flying. It's going to be, they're very methodical, like a true West Coast, like dink and dunk, methodically move down the field. And the Eagles don't let anything over, keep everything in front of you, and tackle. So you're going to see sustained drives. You're going to see them converting on third down. Don't panic. It's okay. That's part of the plan. This is Vic's defense. Make them go down the field and be flawless. Now, you have Patrick Mahomes, who's damn good, but he's human, man. He's not a machine, okay? This defense is very good at creating turnovers. It may not be pickoffs. Like, he may not throw an interception, but we attack the ball, man. That peanut punch is a motherfucker. So be looking for that type of stuff. So if they do get into a rhythm early, don't panic. Vic makes adjustments. This is all what Vic is planning. Trust me. Don't panic.
I love it.
Yeah, I was going to say probably Kelsey's going to get his, extend some drives. He's going to get his touches, possibly a touchdown, maybe. Don't panic. We'll shut it down eventually.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. It's good to keep in mind. Yeah, I agree with both of those. I'm thinking, man, some jet sweeps that are going to go. Like we're going to see some third down, 3rd and 3. We're all pumped, edge of the seat. Let's get this stop. Here comes some motion. Here comes somebody with a handoff going for play it cool, like you said, Clayton. Part of the plan. Make them dink and dunk. You're gonna see that. You're not gonna get off the field off every third down against this team. It's gonna happen. Don't panic. Do not panic.
I think we're one of the best teams against these screens and jet sweeps, if you will, because one thing like Bond's always in the right place. You know what I mean? He doesn't overextend. If it's Bond setting an edge, I'll bet my life that edge is going to be set.
And the tackle will be made.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love it.
I got another don't panic. This is for the Eagles on offense. You're going to see Hurts take one of those weird-ass sacks. He's doing that to protect the football. He does not want to put it in the air to, possibly have a turnover. You're going to see that shit happen. Don't panic. It's part of the plan, too. That's what he's been doing this year. He's not going to take the hit. He's not going to, try to scramble for it. He'll just drop down to the ground and lose, 7 yards, and we'll be pissed.
Yeah.
But don't panic. It's okay. Like, that's all right. We're living to fight another day.
Especially on a third down.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? He's not going to give up the ball. Just punt it away. You took the sack. It's over.
Exactly.
Yes. This
Don't
game.
panic. It'll be
Yeah.
all right.
Yes. There's going to be a lot of guys. Don't panic. And again, this is to me. I'm the panicker. I'm the doomer. It's over. Not going to be that tomorrow. I've already set my Rodrigo personality to positive. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be. It's going to be a game. Like we said up top, this is going to be a good game. I know you mentioned maybe a possible blowout. God, I mean, I would love that, but it's going to be a close game. These are two really good teams, and yeah, and look, another thing to keep in mind, and this team, this run game, they wear people down, right? Like that's why Saquon had so many fourth quarter breakaway runs. Like he really gets going. Like I think this offensive line can really wear you down, and I think we just have to stay in it. We just have to be in it all the time, the whole time. And I don't know. We're the better team. How else do you say it? We're the better team. We were the better team in 22.
Exactly. And we lost, which sucks. But no, this is what I want to say before we move off of the don't panic.
Yes,
The most
yes, we need more.
important, the most important thing I want everybody out there listening to do is to just trust this team. They're here for a reason, man. You watch them all season long. You know what they're going to do. They've been crazy consistent. Trust this team. Trust the process. Trust the coaching. Trust the players. Just trust this team. They got this. Don't panic. Trust them.
Yes. Yeah. Here was a scenario, and I know it's all about trust. And this was something that was brought up on a podcast. I think PHLY. Shout out to those boys. Chiefs get the ball first. They go down, score. We maybe go 3 and out on some unfortunate events. They go down and score again. What do? Do you stay true? Do you
Absolutely.
panic then? Or do you stay steady? You stay steady.
Run the ball.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not changing up a thing at all.
That's not going to happen. Look, we have to talk all angles. If we don't talk all angles, we're not prepared for it. All right?
Run the ball, get back to what you're doing. Don't start throwing crazy 50 times, you know what I mean? Just run the ball and continue to run your offense. Especially because this team definitely makes a lot of adjustments at halftime that always seem to be the best, adjustment. So,
yeah,
right back to normal football for me.
And I'm with what you were saying earlier is that's like the bread and butter. We wear these teams down. So by the third, end of the third, into the fourth quarter, their defense is tired as hell. So just keep wearing them down. Keep wearing them down. In fact, they don't have much depth on that defensive line to begin with. They have 2 good players, and then everybody behind them is kind of trash. So you wear out their 2 good players, it'd be a field day.
Yeah. You know who I want to punch in the face? If
Nick
I
Wright.
could say so. Yeah, you got it, man. Yeah, I was listening. This guy is such a loser, man. He's
Was it Nick Wright? You're
yes,
going into Nick Wright, dude.
yes,
Oh my God, I was right.
Yes. Like I was listening to him on some podcast. He's like, you guys are gonna lose the game. It's just it's factual. It is what it is. Like, dude, I don't care that you've made it to how far you've made it. Okay, I can respect that you've probably dinked and dunked your way to your career, but you are such a loser. And with the hair, cut the hair, you greasy mofo, dude. Like, cut your hair. First of all, and I want to get into a ring with you. This might be some unhinged Bam Margera calling out. I want to get into a ring with you, and you probably would beat me. I have 0 stamina, but I tell you what. I've never seen your stature behind sitting on a desk. I might take you down, but you might beat me. You probably got more stamina, but I'll tell you what, I will hit you a few times, and God, that will feel great. And your punches won't feel anything on me, you little weasel. You little greasy weasel. Oh yeah. Oh no, this is the loss. Yeah, we look at get out of here. You are such a loser weasel, you greaseball. God, and that's
the kind of shit That's the kind of shit I'm not even giving the type of day. Like I can't stand that guy on any fucking aspect of sports. So it's like I'm not even gonna fucking click on something to listen to him.
And I shouldn't have even gave him the airways here. That's sorry. I thought it was.
I
a
will
funny
say
statement.
this. I've been watching a lot of podcasts. I've been watching a lot of Super Bowl stuff, and everybody's going like different podcasts I'm watching. Everybody's going through, and there's one name that I'm just not hearing. Everybody's saying, Smitty, AJ, all the normal guys, Bond, even Blankenship I've heard, but there's one name that I have not heard and that they need to put some actual respect on, and that's CJ Chauncey Gardner.
100%.
I haven't heard his name at all in any discussions, and that guy's a fucking animal, and somebody better put some fucking respect on his name. So if it has to be me, it'll be me.
Amen. You're right about that.
And just to piggyback off of that, he's a hell of a teammate too. Do you guys see him buying the high school jerseys for
Yeah.
for some of the guys? Dude, that is fucking so cool. He's a great guy, man. I will stick my hand up and say I was wrong. Like whenever we re-signed him, I was like, kind of like a whatever move to me. I completely underestimated and was completely wrong his impact on this defense. Not just as a player, because he's really, I mean, he struggled early. He's really settled into form here, especially in the playoffs. But just as the emotional and the leadership that he brings, man, it's big time. It was missing last year.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And you can see it. And I stick my hand up and say I was wrong. DJ, I'm glad you're here. You're one of my favorite players on that D, brother.
Yeah,
I'm with John, man. Put some respect on this man's name.
100%. You know what's crazy too? They asked the coach in one of these like media like these like TikTok things or whatever it is. But like they asked the coach like who chirps more in the field, like BJ or Chauncey, and the coach said CJ, which I thought was like because you don't really see that because he doesn't really get that mic'd up, doesn't really get that like mic'd up availability and like if you're watching the game from the TV, you don't really see what's going on. It was kind of like I knew that, like we all know that, like he's emotional, he's a passionate player, but like it was kind of like, man, he's really out here like chirping more than BG. That's kind of crazy. Like we knew that, but it was just I don't know. I guess it was crazy to see it confirmed.
Off of that, I know we'll probably never find out, but I would love to know what he said in that Washington game that had that dude knock his helmet off, and then he got ejected for having his own helmet knocked off. So he must have said something greasy as fuck, dude. I would love to know what the hell he said there to get that guy that pumped up, and then to have the ref be like, "Yeah, man, you stepped over a line. You're out. You're out. Get out of here with this shit."
Man, it's a science. I want that. I want that. I don't want him thrown out, but I want like that. Guys, push these fools to the limit and then pull back. Like let's do everything we can to get in their face. Let's do let's get in their head. Let's get in their head.
Wind them up.
Mental errors. We want there's a game being played on the field and then there's a game being played 6 feet above the field. You get what I'm saying? So we need to get into that head. We need to have them shooken. I'm sorry. I'd be remiss. I mentioned BG. Guys, might be Brandon Graham's final game as a Philadelphia Eagle. I mean, storybook. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I hope he's able to go. I know it was still questionable. I seen on the injury report. So
you'd have to drag that guy off. 9 shots.
That's wild. That I honestly, when they, what was it?
Yeah, but if you can't go, then you're hurting us. You know what I mean? So there is a fine line there.
Yeah.
After the Rams game, I was like, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, man, I don't know if this guy, because they were talking about it. I was like, I don't know if this guy's going to be healthy enough to actually warrant a roster spot. We said that on the podcast, and here we are, and he's out here practicing, and all indications are he's going to go, whether they, make the, I'm surprised if that they didn't make the roster move yet for him. I mean, I guess they got to do it by 4 today. So we're going to know.
Let's talk about it, guys. How do we feel about that? Because we did mention on the podcast, we talked about the implications. We love seeing BG out there, right? I think that's universal.
Oh, yeah.
But like, at the same time, like you go out there and re-tear it on the first snap. You don't know how that's going to feel until you're in live game action. Like that puts us in a bad position if you go out there and God forbid re-tear that. I mean, you'd almost have to play through the tear at this point. Just shoot them up and get back out there, right?
Honestly, if we're sitting Huff down, if he goes out and plays 1 snap, he will give us what Huff has given us pretty much through the entire playoffs here.
I know, but I'm saying like if we sit Huff down, like who's behind?
So
Well, I guess
it
you
would
got
just be our
Nolan.
three man. Yeah, it would just be our 3-man rotation that we've been doing anyway. Jalix, Hunt, Sweaty, and Nolan, and then Huff has come in for like 1 or 2 snaps here and there.
So it's good. It's a good move.
Yeah.
It's a good move. Yeah.
So I mean, if you're sitting Huff down and it's BG and BG blows his shit out on the first snap, it's not that big of a deal because we've been doing that 3-man rotation. But obviously, it's not ideal either.
Yeah. Shoo, man, that's just the storylines. It's amazing. Any other storylines you guys have that you want to highlight? Like, I know we talked about BG, we got Saquon, the birthday thing. Like, any other like cool storylines you're looking for, or anything you wanted to highlight? You don't need anything, but I was just wondering.
I think it's kind of neat that Zach Bond is back in his home. He's talking about that because he just came from New Orleans. He was like to be back there in the facility and everything. He was talking about the smells and stuff.
Ooh,
I
you raised a
think-
good point. You raised a good
Yeah.
point. He's
So,
like
he's
he
at
knows
home
that.
pretty
He
much.
knows that.
Yeah. And CJ's pretty much the same thing. I mean, he's 3 years removed from it, but he was down there. So no, I
Ooh.
thought that was pretty cool. Those guys to be back in their own stomping grounds there.
And to kind of piggyback on that, we got Smitty, who is from Louisiana. I don't know if you remember last time he played in that stadium. He brought a natty home, so had a great game. So something to watch. He's
Oh,
cozy.
yeah.
He's there. He's there, man. Well, guys, wanted to ask as we get to winding down, game day routine. What are we wearing? What are we doing? What are we drinking? Miller Lite?
Ooh.
Sponsor Miller Lite. Like what? How does tomorrow look? And just I guess in general, any superstitions, any routines, anything that kind of brings some good juju. Speaking of Bourbon Street and all that.
Went out, bought a brand new jersey.
Ooh, yeah, I saw that. And where did you get
Got,
those dunks? Where'd you get those?
The Nike outlet had them down in Hershey. Bought some Eagles dunks. Matched the jersey. So I'm coming in clean. I got the Eagles chain with the logo. Multiple Eagles shirts I'll be wearing underneath.
That's great.
Eagles hoodie as well. So I'm laced up, dude. I'm laced up.
Man.
I might have a couple beers before the game, maybe at a bar quick, just to kind of calm the nerves.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Where are you going? Stony Creek?
Maybe the Borough. I don't know yet. Get some
Ooh, I
wings.
like oh, pregame wings. Yeah, you're
Some
not
wings that I won't eat.
puke them up right away.
So I'm locked in, dude. Locked in.
Yeah.
Playing-
I'll have
playing
the
the
I'll
Avenues.
have the armor on.
the
You
armor.
know
Goddamn
it.
right.
You know me. I will have the
Goddamn
armor
right.
on. Flip flops. And I'll be pounding Miller Lights. I'm just hoping the there's supposed to be some fucking snowstorm rolling through here. I'm just hoping it's not too bad for my travels.
It'll be perfect for the flip flops.
Oh, it doesn't faze me, not one bit.
Okay. It'll be perfect or perfect. It's if it's whichever way this goes, it'll be great. For that cliff or that
Exactly.
for that celebration donuts. On my end, I think I remember a route I did. I did a hike last 22 just to get some adrenaline out. And I think I'm going to reverse the hike. So I'm going to go the opposite way. I remember the route. I'm going to go the opposite way. Just kind of like I'm not like a huge superstitious person, but like that kind of stuff I do buy into. Like I'm going to reverse the pain. I'm going to go the opposite way. And probably get back. I don't know, game time food. I mentioned this on a podcast a couple weeks ago. I don't like eating. I don't like dealing with food during a game. That's something I think I always looked at as like, this is a party. It's the Eagles game. We gotta have it. No, I don't like dealing with it. I don't like eating. I don't like having to cook on the 5-minute. I guess it's a longer halftime, but I don't like having to deal with it. So I don't know food wise. There will be Miller Lights. Man, it's gonna be the day. Gear wise, I don't know. I almost gotta think. I want to wear the BG jersey just because it's his last
Ooh.
game, but it's one of the new jerseys. I hate how the new jerseys fit. It's like what is going on here? I like the old Reeboks, and my old Reebok jersey is the Selleck jersey, which
Midnight
I wore
green?
black stitch.
We're wearing midnight green. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. I don't think I have a midnight green. I have throwbacks, but I don't want to wear. I
Yeah.
have.
That's why I went and bought the midnight green.
Yeah, I don't like the way the new jerseys fit. Do you guys find they're like weird? Like the dry fit or whatever they are?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I like the old Reeboks, the mesh. You know, give me some of that early
Yeah.
2000s style.
Breathes.
Yeah.
Some breathability.
Yeah. So I don't know. I probably will go with Selleck. I wore all black last week for the funeral. I think it might be a funeral tomorrow, so I might go all black. We'll see.
Mm. Speaking of eating, got a little bit of a quote here I'm going to read.
Yeah.
You ain't never been hungry enough to think about eating off the floor, have you? I'm talking about starving. That's the mentality that I got. I just like to eat off the floor. That's from Nolan Smith.
I love that.
Love that kid, man.
He's gonna have a game. I think he's gonna have a game. Eat off the floor.
I hope he gets a sack in this game. Doesn't he break a record if he does?
He will have a sack in every round of the playoffs. I did want to say that. I forgot about that. But yeah, glad you brought that up. He'll be the only end ever.
I want him. I want that for him so bad, dude. Just because
He's going to get it.
Like I said, I took, I stuck my hand up for the CJ, and I've done it multiple times on this pod. I'm completely wrong about Nolan Smith, and I have never been more happy to be wrong because I fucking love that kid. I love his mentality, and I'm glad that it's finally starting to translate over onto the field, and he's found his footing here in this league, and I think he's going to be a damn good player moving forward for us.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, John, that was a heck of a transition you did back there. I like
that was good stuff, man. That was a
I
nice
like
segue,
that,
brother.
man. Hey,
Yeah.
shout out.
As you were talking about food, I was like, man, this would be
Yeah.
a great time. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good
I'll
stuff.
stand on that hill with you too, Clayton. I definitely called him a bust this year. Earlier in the year, I got a little bit on even though I'm putting all the respect on CJ's name, we got a little bit of hate on him, but again, his technique was bad earlier in the year.
Mhm.
He's found that, especially in these playoffs. My God, he's playing out of this world. So I'll definitely stand on that hill. I was wrong. I was another guy that said fire Sirianni. I was fucking dead wrong on that.
I think we've all said that. I think
yeah.
that's not don't feel
For
too bad
weeks I
about
went on that rant though. For weeks.
I can go pull the tape.
So
We can
I'll
go pull the
die
tape.
on that
Pull the
hill.
tape.
Yeah. I'll die on that hill. Now, you don't have to pull it. I'll admit it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's when you make the big bucks to be a podcaster, you know what I mean. You're out there getting paid to put takes up. Sometimes you're wrong, and that's a direct quote from Reuben Frank for when he deleted my comments.
Rube.
Rube.
Man. I want this for Rube. He can just have his.
I want this for
Chick-fil-A.
Philly, man. Look, look, guys. Philly sports is gonna. If this don't happen, Philly sports is. We're in a law. The Phillies aren't it. Their run's over, man. I'm gonna be honest. And the Sixers, my God, they're fucking abysmal. They are terrible. So they're talking about, they could potentially bring Ben Simmons back.
Are you serious? That's actually being discussed?
Well,
I
I mean,
completely shut the Sixers off this season, dude.
Yeah, same. So did I. But the Nets are gonna buy out his contract, which makes him a free agent. Now, I don't know if you've seen, and I still I follow it. I haven't watched any games, but we gave away a first round draft pick for next year. We traded KJ Martin, Caleb Martin, and another guy for like 2 or 3 second rounders. And I don't know. It's just like, why would you get rid of a first round pick when you're just trying to rebuild? But,
Exactly. You're in a rebuild mode.
and what they got back was like five second round picks, which everybody knows. Nothing happens in the second round in the NBA. But I digress. This is not a Sixers podcast, so I'm getting off that. I don't even want to fucking talk about it,
dude. Speaking
so
of,
we need this, Philly.
Yeah. Speaking of needing it in the law, like I thought about this, like it almost made me sick. But these are the thoughts, and they need to come out on mic. Like the worst thing that will happen for a loss, God forbid, is Philly learning how to be a loser. And I say that meaning, like, okay, you lose the Super Bowl. It's like everyone goes through their coping mechanisms, right? It was like, all right, this like super heartbroken, super sad, laying in bed, like, coping, life goes on, blah, 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 in the recovery period. I think it took me like, I think it was like 2 months before I could even like watch sports, like anything. Like the worst thing that could happen is we are able to apply that knowledge to another game, another experience where it's like, I remember I did this to cope. Like we cannot be the people that have learned to be losers. We can't. We just can't. It's not us. Can't be
Not
us.
anymore. I'll tell you that.
Can't.
It
But you know
won't.
what I'm saying? Like it took a while. It took. I don't know about you guys. Maybe I'm being dramatic, but like the first day, I don't even want to talk. I don't even want to talk. We're not talking about it. I'm not talking about it. We can talk about it on the victory pod. But man, well, guys, we're gonna wrap up. I think. Anybody else have anything? I got one more thing. But anybody else got anything they want to highlight, talk about, touch on? Don't panic.
I just want to say one thing before. I mean, the Rivian just went through the car wash, guys. It's shined up. The windows are looking good. The music's bumping. It's time to bring it home.
Dude, I hope there's somewhere like a deranged CEO of Rivian Company that like just happened to stumble upon our podcast. And it's like, this is marketing genius.
Yeah.
Get these boys a Rivian. Send them to the Super Bowl. All right. Well,
That Miller Lite just happens to be listening.
good God, could you imagine? Hey, let's put it out there, Miller Lite. You wanna sponsor us?
We need you.
Yeah. Reimburse me for the thousands of dollars. Just, guys, it doesn't have to be a speech. We've done this before, but it doesn't have to be a speech. It could be a couple words, couple key things, couple key phrases. You want to say to the team, this is the biggest game of a lot of these guys' lives, biggest game of the season by far. By far. I mean, it's the biggest game of the season. What do you say to these boys in the locker room? What any words of encouragement? Anything to pump them up? Anything you want to give them?
You want me to go first, or you want to go, Clayton?
You go ahead.
I'd just say I think the most important thing about this game is communication on the defensive front and even on the offensive front. Like, communicate what you're doing. I mean, obviously they've been doing that all year. Just do what you do. You've been playing football all your life. You know what I mean? It's just another game. But communication, try to wrap up and tackle. I don't know. Just play your game, man. Nothing different.
Yeah, I love it. You want me to go, Clayton? While you
Well, I honestly, it's this, man. Like, I am so sick and tired of hearing how good of a football team Kansas City has. Okay, I'm sick and tired of how everybody just assumes this is a foregone conclusion. This is a very good football team Philadelphia is bringing into this game, man. Every one of these guys are meant to be here. Every one of these guys have earned their right to be here today on this team. You know, and I'm sick and tired of this perspective or this narrative that we can't run with these guys. You know, we can't hang with these guys. Fuck that. That shit ends tomorrow. We show everybody we can stick with these guys. We can run with these guys. We can be more physical. You know, these guys are not this unbeatable thing. They're not the Russian from Rocky IV, man. I'm sick of it. They're not a machine. We will end this fucking terror. They are not three-peating on us. We are slaying this dragon.
Yeah. I should. I don't know why. I knew I should have went before you, Clayton. I don't know. I knew it. I was like, I tried to kind of cut you off there, but yeah, no, you said it, man. I mean, you both have said it. Like, I would just say, connect, man. Connect with your brothers. Like, play for them. Play for one another. Have fun. Like, this opportunity doesn't come around every year. This could be the only time some of these guys see this field. It could be the last time these guys see this field. Look at Brandon Graham. This is the last time he's ever gonna play with this brotherhood. These brothers. So. Do it for him. Do it for everyone. Do it for yourself. Do it for everyone around you, your family, everyone that's rooting you on, the whole fan base, the city. Like, just do everything you can to bring it home. Looking at you, Smitty. But just have fun. Play a game. Yeah, these guys aren't some juggernaut. They're beatable. They are. We've beaten them. We beat them last time, but the refs called it the other way. Like, stay true. Have fun. Do it. Do it. Man, guys, I think we said it all.
On predictions?
Oh, I almost forgot. How do we forget? Oh man. I'll lead us off. Predictions. I got Chiefs by 3. No, could you imagine? Like,
Jesus.
no, no, come on, it's not even a funny joke. That sucked. Let's do. I got birds. We are the better team. You run this through a simulator 100 times. I think we win 85 of those. I think. I got birds 31. Chiefs 28. Birds 31, Chiefs 28.
Clayton?
I have the Birds 34,
I love it.
Chiefs 27.
Ooh, we're kind of the same. A little
That's what I
ballpark.
was
Same
going with,
ballpark.
Yeah.
Same ballpark.
All right, I'm just going to flip the script. I was going to go in the 30s, but since both of you guys, I'm going to go 27-17 Birds.
All right.
Okay, we'll try. Well, you can't do that. Say what prediction you would have had. We'll get this on the record without us saying ours. Without us saying ours. You got to get yours on the record because if you're right, you're right. You know what I mean?
All right, 33. I was going to go 27.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
All right.
Hey, you're on the record now. It's 33-27. Then
I'll
you
take
got it.
either though. If I win,
that's
I'm
good.
still going to say I'm right on both of them.
I like it.
All right, boys.
Go Birds, man.
Yeah, we got one more victory pod. I mean, we'll continue the podcast, obviously, but
we can do some.
This season, we got one more victory pod. It's been an absolute pleasure. I can't wait to talk to you guys. Obviously, we'll touch base before the game, but man, it's been an absolute pleasure. Can't wait to talk to you guys on the victory podcast.
4 quarters left, guys. 4 quarters to destiny.
Let's do it forever, because forever is about to happen in 2 minutes. I love that, dude. That Friday Night Lights, Billy Bob Thornton, because forever is about to happen in about 2 minutes. I love it. And hey, well, hold on, before we get off, any like speeches, any football speeches that you guys go to, like movie speeches, anything like that?
Not me personally, but I will say this: you can't have greatness without the greatness of others.
Ooh,
Love it.
Keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah, I love that.
Any given Sunday, the end speech on that's a nice one. Pacino delivers a banger. That one that you sent, Friday Night Lights with Billy Bob, that was good. The Miracle Herb speech before they go out on the ice is a good one.
Ooh, I'll have to look at that. Yeah, all I do is just bump these like inspirational movie speeches. I can't do it. Trust me, I'm too old.
This is
in front of your face.
They have the old Rocky Adrian speech at the stairs. That's a good one too.
Ooh, I like that. I'll have to look that
You
up.
can't beat him.
Oh man, I love it. All right, guys, we're out of here. Guys, can we get one more Go Birds? Let's go around to Go Birds for the Super Bowl.
Man, go fucking Birds. Let's go.
Let's fucking go Birds.
Go Birds.